This is how I update my chart for each drawing. On the clusters tab, I basically put the Powerball winning numbers on row 10, which I've already typed in. Okay, once I do that, then I go to the display Powerball, even though this is a Mega Ball chart tab, to mark the Mega Ball that came out. And after that, I go to the display of the Pig 5 numbers to mark them into 5 columns. So, on the display PB tab, the number 10 came out for the Mega Ball. So basically, I go all the way over to the zones, and I marked an A in there. The reason why it's an A because it was a repeater within the first 5 digits, which is symbolized by 3x. If it was in the 6 to 8 digit, it would be 1x, and I would put a B in there, just like this time up here. So I'm either going to see that it was a repeater in the 2 to 5 range or in the 6 to 8 range. The reason why that's important is because of the ranking, which usually are the best choices at the top statistically, and repeaters towards the bottom of the chart, as you can see by the dark length columns. The repeaters should hit more towards the bottom, although there's a lot of B's closer to the top. But that's the idea here, is that I'm going to have the AOs and A1s, the better grades statistically, for coming up towards the top of the chart, whereas the ones that hit more often are going to have an E and an F grade and be more towards the bottom of the chart. And how you know whether it's cycled its life out or not is a guess, because obviously the 10's a darker color and it hit again. But those that haven't hit extremely a lot get the lighter color, like 9 and 17 in the L column. I do the same thing for the display P5. I take the 5 numbers and I mark them. I'm just put an X right here where the numbers came up. 36 in the first column had the A1 D grade, which is like 1 or 2 A1 grades toward the top rank first column. That's always the best choice. Then you come down and you'll see the 66 in the second column. It's a B1 grade, and it's got a little X for due and a green spot right there. So again, it's another good pick, but there's a couple good picks there too. The DO is also a good pick. So that it's one of those things where you have to figure out how many different combos you want to play to mix those numbers in. The third column, 54, again, it's got that light gray in the length column, and a good gray color there. It's not the best. The CO above the 45, you can see that hits more often in that spot indicated by the darker gray in the third column. But again, it's a good, better than average grade for the third column. You come down to the fourth column and you'll see the 1 there, and the 1 has both a big X in the due column, a darker gray D in the length column. So that's one of the better choices right there in the fourth column. You come down and the fifth column, and you'll see that the number 44 right there again has that light A color in the length column. So that's a good pick. D2 with the double X's, the number 12 would have been a good pick, as well as 18, which is a repeater, and the light gray A in the length column. So again, it narrows the numbers down. You just have to, play your picks for your combos, judging by what kind of cluster sequence, what decade they're due for your number patterns. So if you were going with what I suggested with the 30, 40, 50 single, then those would help you determine which number was the best to pick from those columns. So after I mark them, I basically log them in the zone column. Right now we're logging numbers under E. This would be the 10th one in that area. As you can see, if you count the ones, A's, and you'll see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9 of them, and this would be the 10th one. Then we move to the next column over. I'm doing 10 per column. So I'm going to put 1 in the E column, so that's going to be 111B. So you see I added that 1 to column E for the hit in the first column. Come down to the 66. There's the 2 I added in that column. There's the 3 I added in for the number 54. There's the 4 I added in for the number 1. And then all the way down at the bottom, you can see for the number 44, I put a 5 in that one column right there. Voila. 5. So after I marked on the 2 pages what hit, I copy back on the cluster tab. I copy all the numbers all the way down to the next to last column right there, and then I'm going to copy and paste it down 1. So I copied it, I went down 1 row, and I paste the numbers only. Okay, so I moved it all down 1 row. By doing that, it updates the database, and then I delete the original number since it's down here now, and this makes room for the next drawing. Okay, after I do this, I have to update the display tabs for the sheets to be put on the website. So again, even though this is the Mega Ball spreadsheet, the tab I call Powerball has the upgraded database number there. I copy that, so it's copied now, and then I go over to the Powerball display, and I go to the top, and I paste special the numbers only. Okay, so paste special numbers. Okay, and so you can see the numbers are in order there. Then I go up to data and sort it by ranking, which is column R. So I sort, and you see ranking largest to smallest. So boom, and now it's back ranked by column R, and you can see 20 now is the top number. Okay, I do the same thing for the pick 5 portion. I click on that tab, and you can see right there, that's the highlighted numbers from the database. I copy that, I go over to the display, I go up to the top box right there, and I paste special, just the values, and you can see it's in order. The value's been put in there, and again I do the same thing. I go up to the data tab, and I'm going to sort it for ranking. which is column R. So again, it's column R, largest to smallest. Boom. And you can see now it has the number 6 in the top position. And that's the chart that will be posted on the website right there. The 5 hidden tabs to determine what filters, statistics, or pattern to recognize are in the Math P5, Math PB, Cluster P5, Cluster PB, and Range tab. You can basically see here that statistics are calculated in several different ways to look at several different perspectives of how the numbers outcomes have resulted. You see it, same thing for the Mega Ball. The Cluster P5 tab and the Cluster PB are the database themselves. It does all the counting here, all the counting, all the updates, all the grade assignments. Same with the PB tab, all the counting, all the updates, all the grade assignments. Then the last tab, Range, basically determines when a straight hits. A straight basically is the numbers, first the lowest one being between 1 and 18, and the highest one being between 52 and 70, and no numbers from the same decade, like 2 numbers in the 30s or 2 numbers in the 20s. Okay, so and actually I'll take that back, okay, because you can have a 1 followed by a 20 followed by a 24, and that fits perfectly in that first 3 columns. So the idea is that numbers spread out across a range, what I call tight end loose filters. Basically, your lowest number is always going to be something between 1 and 15, as you can see by the highlights here. And when you go down to your highest numbers, you can always see that it's going to be something, greater than, for the most part, 50. So from there, we get to see how the straights look when the numbers come out, and can basically predict how often they come out that way. And just like the last Mega Ball drawing, the loose straight was overdue, and when we looked at our pattern for a loose straight, you can see that the single, 30, 40, 50, 60 fits in there very nicely. Okay, and that's what was overdue, and that's what hit. And that's it for my chart.